Hi viewers, I welcome you all to this Programming World channel. In this video, uh, we will discuss about the inheritance concept in object-oriented programming, how that could be implemented using C++ programming. So already in my previous videos, I have discussed about the object-oriented programming concepts with suitable examples to make you to understand the theoretical things begin in that. So now we will see the implementation of inheritance, especially we focusing on the very first one, that is what single or simple inheritance in C++ programming. Now we move to this video tutorial. So what is inheritance first? So inheritance, that's about what actually creating the new classes from the base classes or existing classes. So in the sense, so we have some class which can act as a parent class or the base class. Those properties can be reusable one in the new classes. Okay, so that's why we apply what inheritance concept in that. So the existing classes what we have in our library or in our what workspace, those are known as what the parent class or base class. Then the class which is derived from the existing classes or base class are known as child or children classes. Okay, so here the child classes can have the properties of the parent class, and also they can have their specialized properties also. For an example, you can see the a very simple pictorial representation of that. From the parent class, the new child class is created. So you see, we have, if you take a very simple example as us, okay, so you can find, so the human beings, they have what the properties of their parents. Okay, so if you take me, I have my the properties of my parent. Okay, but here, so the parent, in the sense, it is about what the number of parents it is participating in the relationship. Okay, so based on that only we have the different types of inheritance that we will discuss one by one in coming videos. Okay, but the child class, which is what having its own property. For an example, you see, our parents, they have earned money, and also they have purchased some properties. Whatever it is, those properties will be given to us, and we also earn a lot, and through that we have purchased our own properties. So we have a person who purchased his own properties, and also he will get the properties from his parent also. So, like that, the children classes can have the specialized properties along with the parent class properties. Okay, so here the simple inheritance or single inheritance, it means that a new class which is derived from only one base class or parent class. Okay, only one class which is what involved in this relationship. That's why we name it as what simple inheritance. So the pictorial representation what we have in this slide, it is also what representing the same. Okay, so the child class objects can have specialized properties, as I mentioned, including the parents class properties. Okay, and when we implement the inheritance concept, we have to create the objects for child class, because the child class only having the properties of what the parent, and also its own specialized properties. So to access the child class properties, definitely we need the objects creation should be done on the child class. So what happen is the child class properties and also the parent class properties could be accessed. So the syntax in C++ for implementing inheritance, which is given here. So this syntax, it is what the inheritance concept in C++. So you can see that class, and then child class name should be given. Then the colon, which is to be used to connect the parent class with the child class. So the access specifier or access scope that has to be given, in the sense the public scope that may be given to our inheritance concept, where the parent class properties could be easily accessible by the child class objects. Okay, so here you can see the example also. So class person, it is what the base class. So in that we have the properties like name, address, and age of the person. So it is what common to everyone. So that's why these three properties. Beyond that, also we have so many different properties which are what common to a person, so common to all. But actually, for demonstration purpose or discussion purpose, we have taken only these three. Okay. So after declaring the properties, we go forward declaring the member functions based on the properties what we plan to access. Okay. Then you can find the student class, that is what actually child class. So here you can see the student class, it is what the child class. Okay, so that is what so this is used, this student class, it is what created from the base class person. So person is what the base class, as I said, the student is what the child class. Okay, so what happens, so the child class student can access these properties also. So these properties also will be given to whom, the student class object. Okay, so here you can find the specialized properties for the student who can be called as a student, since a person studying in a university or college and also is having a register number and also the branch. Okay, so that's why we taken only two properties here. But when you implement a very commercial applications, you can find all relevant attributes for a student object. Okay, afterwards we should create the member functions which could be useful for accessing the properties of student and student properties. Okay, register number and branch name. Okay, right. So now I want to demonstrate this one. Okay, so here you can find a small example I have. The example what I discussed in the theory, the same thing I have taken in this execution part. So here you can see that the name and city name and then age. Okay, these three properties are taken for the class person. Okay, and associated member functions are declared here. So void get input, it is used for what, taking the input for name, city and age of a person. Okay, afterwards, we take an output member function that could be useful for what, displaying the common properties of a person. Okay, so here you can see the name, address, and age. Those will be displayed as an output. Now you can see that the child class creation from the base class person. So the inheritance syntax which is followed here. So class student colon public person. Okay, so from the person class, the student class is what derived in the sense what, extended. The new class is what made from this person class. Now the student class is having what its own properties like branch name and then register number for a student object. Now you can see the member functions which is what declared for taking the input. So get details which is useful, which is used to take the branch name and also the register number of a student. And the display details, here you can take it for what, displaying the student details like such as the branch and register number of the student. Now you can see that the object is created for child class only. As I told you, so when inheritance concept we are implementing, we have to create the object for student class. Okay. So afterwards, we taking the input. You can see that here, this is what actually we take the input for personal details. Okay. This is what calling base class function. Okay. Okay, so base class member function get input also given to where the student object, how it is made because of what, this inheritance concept. Okay, so what happen is the s dot get input member function will be called for taking the input for receiving the name, age and city of a person, I mean city of the student. Afterwards we take what, another member function, that is what get details, which is what declared defined in the student class. You can see that now it is what, student class member function will be called for taking the input for branch name and then register number of the student. Okay, afterwards what we doing, simply we displaying the results here. But actually when you people implementing the applications, so you have to collect more than what these details, because here you can see that one class is working for what, taking the input for the personal details of a student, and the student class which takes the properties for what, the specialized properties of the student object like register number, branch name, like that. You can add few more properties like college name, university name, school name, like that you can add it. Okay, so you see, after using the get input from the base class and get details from the derived class, we using what, the output functions from base class and also the derived class. So you can see that display, it is what the base class member function which is used to display the output of it, and the display details, it is what the member functions of the student class to display the output of the student details. Okay, so now if we execute this, you can get the result. Okay, so very first we have to feed the input for the student name, city, and also the address. Now you can see that it's asking name, so I'm giving like Gandhi. Okay, then age is what, 20, and he is from the city Delhi. Okay, so now you can see that enter study details. Now it's asking about the branch name, so I'm giving like CSC he is doing, and the register number of the student, simply we give some numbers to. Okay, now you can see that. Okay, the given student details are what? Gandhi, then Delhi 20, and the CSC and 2345. So these three outputs came from where the base class person, and these two details came from where the student class. So still you may have a doubt. You see, I have used public, that's why you see the public member functions are called. So these are all assigned like that. Actually, how you can understand the student object is having the properties of the person class also. So very simple, that one I demonstrate here also. You can see that the size of student class, okay, student object. Okay, so here you can see that. Okay, so character type for name property, so 40, that is what the size, so 40 bytes, then this is what 50 bytes, so totally 90 bytes. So 90 plus 4, 94. Okay, 94 plus 30, 124. 124 plus 4, 128. So possibly for the above definitions, the memory size. Okay, so the memory size uh, for student, okay, student object could be what, actually 128 bytes. Okay, whether that is we getting or not, that I want to demonstrate here. You can see that. Okay, size of operator I'm using, and also I'm sending the object yes here. Okay, so after this you can see that what's happening. Okay, yeah, we are going to execute this. It will ask us to give the same what the inputs, like, so I go with what, Nehru now. Okay, sorry, Neri, right? So 23, then city is what, actually okay, so Delhi. Okay, then it's asking the study details, IT department, then his number is 456. So now you can see that the bytes information, actually more than that what I said, actually 132 bytes. Okay, how, in the sense, okay, you have to compute now. So 40 plus 50, 90, 90, 94. Okay, so afterwards 94, 124, 124 plus yes, 124 plus 4, 128 actually. But how much it is shown? It is showing what? 4 extra 4 bytes. Okay, so here you can see that the bytes, if you take the byte information of the person class, then you can understand that. So where is the difference is happening. Okay, I show that one also, then you can understand very clearly about this. Okay, so see out the parent class subject. Now we have to declare a parent class subject, but no need to take the inputs for that. Okay, so person, okay, p. So now that one I send it as an input to this. Okay, so from this we can understand very clearly. Okay, what is the memory size of the person class, and then what is the memory size which what we attain for child class, which is correct or not. Okay, so that we can make it now, because 4 bytes, beyond the 4 bytes something is happening in the architecture, that's why we getting the answers like 132. Okay, right, so one second, I'm giving the same inputs for Nehru, then age is what, 20, then city is Delhi. Okay, then his study is IT, then 4 6 7 5 6 7. So now you can see that the size of the parent object is what, actually is 96. Okay, so what happens here is, okay, so this C++, so you see 90 plus this age, okay, the integer, it is what, taking what, 6 bytes actually. So as I told you, see the architecture that could be changed. Okay, so what happened is, so 96 bytes now it is given to what the person class object. Afterwards, 96 plus 30, 126, 126 plus 6, this 6 bytes, what happened is, it is taking into 132 bytes. It's completely depend on what the architecture what I have in my laptop. Okay, so likewise you may get the different results, but you can understand now. So 96, that is what the parent person class object P, but whereas the student class object, it is what actually 132. Why? In the sense, this 96 also included to our student object. Okay, so this is the thing you people have to understand. The properties of the base class also apply to the student object. That's why the memory size of the child object is what, more than that, more than the person class object. Okay, I hope you people understand very clearly about the inheritance concept, and also how the properties which is what taken into our child class object. Okay, and also how we can use what creating the inheritance concept in our application, and how we can reuse the code of person in different applications wherever it is required. So that is the exact benefit of using what inherited. So because this person class can be used on some other applications also. Suppose if you go for employee management system, there also you can have this person class. You can extend you can extend this person class for having the employee class. Like that you can do it in different applications also. Okay, I hope you enjoy this video. It gives you the concept of inheritance, and also how the inheritance code, I mean single inheritance, could be made. And you people have understand how the properties take into the parent class properties take into the student class object. I mean the child class object. If you enjoy this video, please click on the like button, and also share in your circle to make the people to learn the C++ programming languages easily. Thank you for watching this. Thank you all.